Technology Tuesdays. Welcome to the Froggy Five. I'm your host, Jim Froehlich, founder and managing member of the Froggy Companies, where when it comes to real estate, you can't stop the hop. Thanks for joining us today. I'm going to be interviewing myself for this first week of podcasts. And then starting next week, we're going to have guests lined up week after week, just providing tons of insight and valuable lessons about real estate investing and real estate development. Are there any current or emerging technologies in the real estate development and investment space that you feel are going to make a huge impact on the future? Yeah, well, absolutely. There is a ton happening with technology, and it's happening so fast and it's so hard to keep track of that we've actually decided to build part of our business around this fact, and that's Froggy X Factor. So if you want to check us out, if you want to deep dive into areas, go to froggyxfactor.com and check out our one-stop hop. And there you'll find tons of areas you can dig deep in, everything from beginning to learn about real estate investing and development to very advanced technology to emerging technologies. And one thing that we've discovered is that there are so many new startups and there's so much happening with property technology and construction technology that it's hard to keep up with. And so I figure with my 25 years of technical background in systems engineering, and that, I might as well apply some of that to keeping track of the latest. So I'll mention two that are both current and emerging. Okay, one is blockchain. A lot of people are familiar with blockchain from cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, and that raises some alarm and fear with people when you talk about that relative to real estate. But it shouldn't. What I've discovered and educated myself on over the last year plus is the promise of blockchain, the security of blockchain, the flexibility and decentralization of finance potentially related to blockchain. And so with blockchain in both property technology, prop tech, and financial technology, fintech, there's sort of a convergence in the world of real estate. And one area that I know it's going to make a big difference is transactionally, because historically, transactions for real estate are a pain, right? The title work, the mortgage work, it's all kind of a pain. But now you're coming up with ways to turn weeks into days and days into hours and hours into minutes on transactions, we'll just say, keeping things more transparent, faster, cheaper. So I think there's great promise in that. The other thing with blockchain is that for a while now, people have been able to fractionalize real estate. And so that earlier vision that I had back in 2010 about the Froggy REIT and people investing, you could do that today. Anybody can go with like $10, $50, $100. You can go online. There's several firms that offer you, you can buy into a rental property. And some of those are our partners, actually. And all of those are fractionalized, but they're not all tokenized, but some of them are. So the difference here is that for all of you that think of Bitcoin, I don't know, the whole world of cryptocurrency is foreign to me, but I know there's volatility in it, great volatility in it, right? There's not great volatility in real estate historically, right? That's why me personally, even though all the smart guys invest, in stock markets and stocks and bonds and real estate, and it's a diversified portfolio, and historically over 150 years, people say either 8 or 11% has been the historic average for real estate as a whole versus stocks, private equity as a whole. But what gets kept out of that discussion a lot of times is the volatility of the stock market. You're way more likely to get caught in a down cycle in a stock market than you are in real estate, right? Real estate moves in pretty predictable cycles most of the time, and it moves slowly because it's illiquid, right? So back to the blockchain discussion. People are now starting to realize the value of tokenizing real assets, whether it's art or whether it's a sports team or whatever, it's a real asset, but it's real estate is a real asset. And now people are starting to tokenize real estate and place tokens against them and then let people buy them as fractions. And there's a promise of a secondary exchange of those tokens for the real estate. Now, I'm a little more skeptical of that because while it does seem great, the logic would lead us to believe that if there are secondary exchanges of tokens against real estate, the same things that people do, rationally or irrationally in a stock market environment, people will do with those tokens in a real estate market, right? Now suddenly it becomes liquid. But there are a lot of smart people trying to make sure there is no volatility in the things that they tokenize when it comes to real estate. So there's great promise with that. I'll probably leave it at that. A different time I'll talk to you about the other. I'll just touch on it real quick. But the other area I'm very excited about is construction technology, materials, the use of timber instead of concrete steel for buildings up to 270 feet, up to 18 stories now. There's a lot happening relative to that. And then in general, net zero housing, or the way, you keep energy bills down to zero potentially in the future, and passive housing, which is different, but it's related in that passive housing is a construction method that helps you maximize your energy efficiency with smart systems, with building products, and also those buildings last longer, like hundreds of years longer than what your normal construction is today. There is a convergence here in this world of construction technology that promises to potentially give us more affordable housing with using less energy. And I'm just very excited about it in general, but I'll leave it at that. Thanks for asking. Hey, thanks for having me on. If anybody else wants to find out more about what we're doing, please come to froggycompanies.com. Check out our 3 different business areas. We also have the Froggy Fund 1 that's now open for up to $18 million. We're going to be investing that $18 million across a diverse number of assets, cash flowing and ground up. And I'm really excited about this fund and really confident that we can outperform most of the other people out there in terms of what we invest in and how we do our due diligence and the type of partners we put together. So it's great talking to you, and see you next time.